Who's scruffy looking?
Hey everybody, welcome to Spiffy Nerd Herder today. I'm Danny, also the director of Star Wars Theory's Vader fan web series. Now, when I think of counts, my mind always goes to Edmond Dantes.
I'm the Count of Monte Cristo.
The man who finds a massive treasure, becomes a count, well-respected, all to get revenge on his ex-best friend and his ex-two-time fiancé. So, I know how he became a count. But how did Dooku become a count?
I've been looking forward to this.
In Legends, the great houses of Serenno were composed of the wealthiest and the most influential families on the planet of Serenno. Dooku was one of those families, and the head of one of those families was a count. Now, when Dooku was a few years old enough to remember, his parents allowed him to go train to be a Jedi. Because after all, they had another son that could continue on the family name.
We don't have a son.
Oh yeah.
So unlike most younglings in the Jedi Order, Dooku remembered his past. He remembered where he came from, and he actually strove to live up to those expectations. Now, almost 70 years later, even before Qui-Gon Jinn bit the dust,
Another one bites the dust.
Dooku wasn't digging the Jedi Order, he wasn't digging the Republic, and he was not digging the corruption of the Senate. So, Dooku was like,
if anything, I can say that this cat was rare, but I thought, man, forget it. Yo, home's the Bel Air.
and left the Jedi Order and returned to Serenno to reclaim the family title of being a count. In Legends, this simply didn't mean that Dooku just went to Serenno and took up residence in his old family home. Nope, he straight up ousted his nephew and sister-in-law, and they fled to Alderaan. Now, being the new count of the Dooku family, Dooku largely disappeared from public life, and a lot of people thought he was actually trying to create an offshoot of the Jedi Order to better go with his ideals. But nope, he was becoming a Sith and using his newfound power and prestige to begin the Separatist movement, without which he certainly would have not have been able to pull off. Yeah, then he straight up died.
Another one bites the dust.
And after the war, as if Vader hadn't had enough with Count Dooku, he went back to Serenno and basically had all of the counts killed for supporting the Separatists in the war, so it was a happy ending, right? Now what I want to know is, why was Dooku trained by the Jedi Order when he was old enough to remember his family, but they would not do the same thing with Anakin?
No, he will not be trained.
When the events of Episode 1 occurred, Dooku may have just left the Order, which may have influenced the Jedi Council's decision with Anakin, and Qui-Gon's disbelief of their answer. After all, why should they train this 8-year-old boy who can remember his mother vividly, when they trained Dooku, who could kind of remember his parents, and he turned out pretty bad? But I think it's safe to say that in the end, Vader turned out a little bit worse. Apparently, being able to remember your family and then being trained by the Jedi is the #1 predictor in becoming a Sith. Either way, I definitely believe that Palpatine sought out these powerful Jedi who remembered their family and their origins, and used that against these Jedi in an effort to help them separate themselves from the Jedi and not see them a part of the Order. Palpatine surely did it with Dooku in his efforts to help him return to be a count and to use that power and prestige to create the Separatist movement, and we definitely know that Palps did it with Anakin.
Remember what you told me about your mother and the Sand People?
So the moral of the story today is, guys, don't join a hokey religion with ancient weapons when you know who your family is. Thanks for watching today, guys. Hit subscribe below, share the channel with everybody, and remember, as always, don't do anything I wouldn't do twice.